Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the 10 at 10. We're the MrMaple Sorry, I'm already off on MrMaple. MrMaple. You can make that the intro. Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the 10 at 10. We're the MrMaple Brothers, and we've got some great trees on the table for you here today.
This is the 10 at 10 for March 12th of 2024, y'all. We're going to talk about 10. There's going to be 20 getting listed. Check out that email. You can sign up for it on MrMaple.com for the other 10.
Now let's dive right into it with butterfly. Acer palmatum butterflies here on the table. Classic cream on green variegation. It's almost like a cream on mint in the early spring. Giving this one some shade, you can even get it wider. I see some people trying to sell white butterfly. I think it's just one of these grown in extreme shade. Absolutely excellent variegated Japanese maple.
Yeah, the variegation on this is one of the best of any Japanese maple. It's a whole lot of white. It's spectacular. This is one of those trees, if you do see a reversion on it, trim it out. But this tree goes through some really nice shades of reds and pinks in the fall.
Now there's some debate whether the very first ones came from Japan and were renamed in America. This one, J.D. Veratrees definitely helped popularize it. We were going through the Oregon State Archives earlier this year with Talon Buchholz, and Tim and I were reading a lot of his notes, and he had one of the biggest stock plants very early on, and everybody was writing J.D. Veratrees asking for sign on butterfly. So he was certainly helping spread it all over the United States and into Europe. It's an amazing plant, and I think you're going to love this one, especially in the fall color, when that red color hits and the white color is a little bit more of a pink. So you get a little bit more of a pink on red in the fall. Really an overall great plant. One of my fun memories of this one is selling it to the Riverbank Zoo for the plant name, the animal names garden. So they have an animal names garden there with just plants with animal names, and they had to have a butterfly for that. I was visiting not too long ago and I saw the tree we'd sold them about 15 years ago, so it was pretty cool to see it still there in the landscape.
This is one of those trees that you can really enjoy as a small tree as well. I mean, it's really like a bouquet Japanese maple. You can really have this tree in a container, bring it up somewhere close so you can enjoy that variegation, and just enjoy this dense, tight shape this makes at a young age. It will stretch out and get taller with age, but this tree just makes a beautiful tree out in the landscape, brighten up those dark places in the garden. This is one plant you can definitely do that with.
Give it a little shade in the hotter parts of the south, but you're gonna love butterfly. All right, what's next? Throw another shrimp on the Barbie.
Guys, next we got Pinus nigra, Pierrick Brigon.
Now, last time we had an Austrian pine, we had a little bit of controversy in the comment section. I made a Dumb and Dumber joke. I did the throw a shrimp on the Barbie, and like 50 people proceeded to tell me that there's a difference between Austria and Australia. Like, yes, I know. I was making a joke from Dumb and Dumber. I know about Austrian pines. Throw another shrimp on the Barbie, though.
It's the tattoo. You know, tattoo is, you know, from Love Boat, right?
I think
It's that same thing.
It gets good comments, though.
This is a cool Austrian pine, though. It's dense, dwarf. I love what the Austrian pines can do. Gives you some really nice, rich green color out there in the landscape. 3 foot by 5 foot in 10 years. So it makes a really awesome sort of bun shape out there in the landscape with this longer needles.
I love the tough look of this one. It's got a real rigid look to it. Looks great in a container or in the ground. This one's going to work zones 5 through 8, and it's durable as all get out. It's a very durable plant. You know, the Austrian pines often can give some of the Japanese black pines a run for their money for durability. Absolutely love what this one does. I think you're going to love it in the landscape. Now, this one is one that looks equally as good as a table topper. So, like, put this one in a big patio planter. You can decorate with it. Absolutely love it. We've got some beefy sizes in these 1 gallons today.
That Brigon name may seem familiar to you. It's the same nurseryman who introduced Bambino, often also known as Gale Brigon. He introduced amazing pines. And to me, I mean, these are some killer sizes on this pine as well. This is an awesome time to add a new conifer in your garden.
Where's the beef? Right here on MrMaple today. We got the beef. All right, guys, we're bringing back Kuranajishi.
Y'all, the red lion is no joke. This thing is electric. It gives you some brick red colors in the spring with the tuft appearance like Shishigashira.
Absolutely awesome plant. You know, it's not in the Makawa family, but no Makawa family is complete without a Kuranajishi cousin hanging out next door. Absolutely love this. I have it planted around my Makawa collection because I like the colors it brings. I like the textures it brings. And it's, you know, it's in the Shishigashira family, so we're close there. Absolutely love this one. This one was first named by our good friend Masayoshi Yano. So the great Yano-san actually put a name on this one. He actually didn't find it. Somebody brought it to him and had him actually name that one. Now, cool thing about these plants, they were actually produced at the Buckholz farm. Yano first shared this tree with Talon. Talon was one of the very first people in the country to get Kurnajishi from him and get it grafted. So you can get some grafts here from one of the original ones. Talon actually has a great part in his blog where he talks about Yano coming up with a name for this one.
Yeah, Kurnajishi, the red lion. We heard about this tree. It was this plant that every nurseryman dreamed of. Where in the world can I find the red Shishigashira, the red lion's head, in Japan? And when we got a hold of this tree, I think it was introduced in the United States around 2008, this tree is just a rock star. It's a tree that's a dwarf. It gives you unique colors, unique texture. You can use this in so many awesome ways, be it a container, bonsai, in the landscape. You're going to want to get one today.
Absolutely perfect maple to be adding to a conifer bed. That small shape lends itself well to fairy gardens. I absolutely love it though. It's a nice plant. Typically at only 6 foot, even in 10 to 15 years. Really nice dense habit. I mean 4 to 6 foot even at that. Really nice smaller overall habit. I think you're going to absolutely love this one. If you don't have a red lion, grab you one today on today's 10 at 10. All right, we got another oldie but goodie back. We had this one recently on a 10 at 10. You guys sold us out of it. We had to get on the horn, get a few more back in stock. What do we got next, Tim?
Guys, we got Pinus contorta, Chief Joseph, a highlighter yellow conifer for the garden.
This one is outstanding. If our video hasn't aired yet, be anticipating, and if it has, go back and watch it again. We're dropping a video on yellow conifers there at Buckholz Nursery, and we show you some outstanding specimens of Chief Joseph. Now, this is a Pacific Northwest native. It is an absolutely beautiful plant. We list this one as zones 5 through 8. It can be a little bit finicky in the deep south. I always let people know the hotter parts of the south, this one can be a little trickier for you. It's a phenomenal plant, though, and the colors, they're really unrivaled.
Now, this tree was found growing in the wild in the Wallowa Mountains. It's named after Chief Joseph, a chief from the Wallowa tribe. So it's got a fun story behind it as well. But in the winter months, there's nothing that quite parallels the yellow that Chief Joseph can bring on an upright conifer, reaching 6 to 8 feet in 10 years. Awesome tree, phenomenal grower. If you're in the Northeast and Northwest, you definitely need one of these today.
This is one that we have there in the Blue Forest. We have an area there at Buckholz Nursery called the Blue Forest. There's so many amazing blue plants in there. And there's one Chief Joseph down at the bottom part of that garden. Everything around is blue. It is glowing. It looks like you plugged this tree in. Putting it in a blue forest, I mean, it looks insane. Absolutely love this plant. It is absolutely beautiful. Again, it can be a little tricky for people in the deep south. I always let people know that up front. Wouldn't discourage you from trying it if you really want to, but it can be a little tricky. Chief Joseph, back on the 10 at 10. Guys, these will sell out quickly.
So make sure you check out fast today. Website doesn't hold it for you until you complete that checkout process.
All right, we got another Shir Solemn. If you like Shir Solemns, if you like that kind of thing, we got another Shir Solemn for you. We got Joan.
This one's perhaps one of my favorite Shir Solemns. You know, I've got a list of probably 5 to 7 that are my favorite of all the Acer Shir Solemns, and this is up there. It's got that round leaf. It's got constant color changes, and it's a tree, stays fairly low, but it just has this malting color effect on it that is just outrageous and really provides a unique dynamic for a full moon Japanese maple.
Now, Tim and I recently did a full moon podcast. Hard to say two fulls there. A full moon podcast just breaking down Acer Shir Solemn. Now, we don't go through and count down the cultivars on this one. We actually tell you some stories, some insights, and some history, and a little bit about the lineage of Acer Shir Solemn. So I think you're going to like that. If it isn't already up, stay tuned for that one. It's coming very soon. Joan, one of the most popular Shir Solemns of them all. Like people, this one does sell out very quickly as well. Absolutely outstanding plant.
Selection by Talon Buckholz, and for me, this tree is just outrageous. You definitely need one of these. Give it good drainage, that's key. But the Shir Solemns, they just add uniqueness out there in the garden like no other. During those cold snaps, the Acer Shir Solemns seem to do fairly well. They're later to leaf, one thing, but they seem to really handle that colder zone 5, even in some of those really cold polar vortexes and things like that. They seem to do really well.
Seems to be exceptional. It gives you that little added edge. This one we list as zones 5 through 9, but exceptional plant. You're going to love this one. Check it out today on MrMaple.com. Acer Shir Solemn, Joan. All right, if you got that enchanted garden, no enchanted garden is complete without a Sapphire Nymph.
Yeah, this was a selection that was found by one of our friends, Pat McCracken, named and introduced in the trade. It's a really tight, dense, slow-growing blue Atlas cedar. Gives you blue color in those small spaces.
This is a beautiful plant. It really brings the hues of blue. It absolutely is exceptional for the small conifer garden. Sapphire Nymph is one of the most frosty blue cedruses you'll ever see. It kind of gets a frosted color to it. Looks great in a fairy garden, small conifer garden. You know, a lot of our people are maple collectors. This is going to be some great blues to be adding into your maple collection.
Yeah, I mean, for a small, dense conifer, this thing just really brings it. That blue color is really unreal. Make sure you give it plenty of good drainage. The Cedrus Atlanticas always want good drainage. Witch's brooms always want good drainage. This is both. So if you put this in a wet, soggy space, you know, it's not going to do well. You give it some good drainage, it's going to thrive and give you this blue color that's just really exquisite.
I know Corbin had the Halloween special where they had all the mythological plants. We got trolls, we got goblins, we got gnomes. You can add a Sapphire Nymph to that mythological plant collection. All right, the Dark Knight rises again, y'all. The Batman tree. We got Acer palmatum, Dark Knight. We sound like a broken record. We love Talon Buckholz plants. We started growing a lot of Talon Buckholz plants and popularized them long before we bought Buckholz Nursery. But another Talon introduction, Dark Knight, one of the new ghosts back on the table today.
I love this tree. It really gives you that purple ghost feel, a little darker color, strong reticulated veins in there. So it's like purple on purple reticulated veins. This has really nice upright form. It's a tree that can give you some really nice fall colors. Everything about Dark Knight, this is a tree you need to have in the garden.
We had some people here this week and they were telling me they always trust Talon's opinion so much because sometimes he hates stuff. So I'm going to start hating some plants. I'm going to be like, I hate this one. You should get it. I love it. But I hate this one. So you should trust me when I tell you this one's good because I think these others stink. I absolutely love this plant. I can't even pretend with Dark Knight. The kid in me loves the Batman name. The adult collector in me absolutely loves the dark purple this has. That dark shades with that reticulated veining to it. One of the darker of that like ghost type. Dark Knight really brings it. We do put it in that new ghost series. We did a whole podcast on those, breaking them down, kind of listing our favorites a little bit. Dark Knight is exceptional, guys. This one's a good grower. It's got a nice upright form. Tends to be one of the faster growers for that reticulated style. This one tends to get out there at 8 to 10 foot in 10 years. I kind of think of it a little bit like Fire Glow. It like has a similar shape to it. An excellent grower.
Yeah, it's an excellent tree. Pair this with your summer golds out there, your golden falls, and you're going to have two-tone contrast that really just adds to new dynamics in the garden.
Imagine that. Pair it with a yellow. All right, what's next?
Guys, we're bringing another blue. We're bringing back Picea pungens globosa.
Guys, this one is always popular on MrMaple. And it's another one of those plants, like the blue Japanese maple is Photoshop. Globosa looks Photoshop. This one brings some insane shades. You're going to absolutely love what this one does in the garden. It's the color of the fake Japanese maple.
And for Japanese maple people, this has a shape like a kiyohime, like a hime sojo. It's got that round ball thing going on. So it's fun to use out there in the landscape and garden, adding that extra blue color, year-round interest. It's going to be one of those trees that's good zones 3 through 7, being it's a Colorado blue spruce dwarf. I mean, it really brings it on that blue-silver color, and it does it with that unique habit.
Yeah, absolutely great plant again for the container garden. Because of that kiyohime-like shape, it makes a perfect topper for a big patio planter. You can decorate around this with some light annuals or plants that have non-invasive roots. It looks amazing. It's everything you need in a container. You can put this in a pot, you're pretty much done. Get a colorful pot. You've already got the blue. Shows out, and it looks amazing next to just basic lace leaves. Like you can put this out with a Crimson Queen or a Red Dragon. It looks like you're an expert gardener because you've got all the color contrast. As Tim likes to say, add in a yellow there and you've got everything going on. Something old, something new, something blue. All right, we got Acer Circinatum Rainy Day. We're out here on a rainy day too.
So we've offered palmatum rainy day. This is a different rainy day.
Just to confuse everybody even more.
We like the confusion. We didn't put the name on it.
I don't like the confusion. I hate when they have the same name. It's a great plant though, so we had to offer it.
So this is a tight, dense dwarf Acer circinatum. Think baby buttons. Think smaller than Little Jim. The leaves are small on this as well, with a tight, dense habit on the Pacific Northwest native, the Acer circinatum.
Yeah, this one is going to definitely need good drainage. The Acer circinatums don't like to be boggy or wet feet. This one is grafted to palmatum. It's going to do similar to many circinatums, where it's going to work zones 5 through 9. You're definitely going to need to give it a little bit more protection in the hotter south. It's a Pacific Northwest native though, so it really thrives, and I love that density to it. It is a beautiful tree with just a lot of changes. Anytime you get a broom on a Japanese maple style, it's really interesting. To my knowledge, cercinatums are the only thing in section palmata, or at least that we commonly associate with Japanese maples, that are also brooms. Like we have brooms on Acer palmatum and Acer cercinatum, but there's not any on Shir Seboldianum, Japonicum to date. Now we always say never, but I love that this one has a broom characteristic.
So this one will make a nice ball shape as it ages, getting very full and dense. It's a green leaf, really small, and those leaves will turn yellows to oranges to reds in the fall. This tree brings it in small spaces, again, for those fairy gardens, for those containers. This is a fun tree to put out there in the garden.
I'm gonna guess somebody found this broom on a rainy day in the Pacific Northwest. Got some big ones coming on, y'all. I've had some people asking about these. I shot a little short, well, shooting my shorts, and I found this one. People said, what are those 1 gallons? And I said, hold on. It might be a little bigger than 1 gallon, y'all. We are bringing back Picea orientalis Tom Thumb, but we're bringing you some beefy looking 2s. Check out those 2-gallon Tom Thumbs.
Sometimes referred to as Tom Thumb Gold, this was found as a witch's broom on the cultivar Skylands. And these things are huge. If you look how big the head is on this thing, it's about as big as my head. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. And this is a slow growing dwarf. We're talking, 2 inches a year, 2-3 inches a year max. I mean, this thing, it's got phenomenal sizes on these 2 gallons.
These are a good 2 to 3 years older than our 1 gallons. It's a great chance to pick these up even beefier. These did come in from the Buckholz farm. They're exceptional sizes. They're well rooted in, on standards. Absolutely love this one. I do like the Tom Thumb on a standard. You get a little bit of height right away. You get a little bit of depth going on. I like raising them up in the garden because it gives you a little bit different texture. Certain miniature conifers just hit different on a standard.
Today, we really bring it with the miniatures. I mean, you could put Sapphire Nymph near this. You could put a Glauca globosa, put a rainy day Acer cercinatum out there, and have a fun little dwarf miniature garden. I mean, there's so many fun plants on today's 10 at 10. This one here, the density, the yellow color, there's so many places you can use this because it stays fairly small. They're grafted, and these have some really thick trunks to them. So they're gonna make a bold statement in that small space.
Looking thick. Check them out today. Absolutely love that one. Guys, that was our 10 at 10 for today. A lot of these plants will go quickly. We really appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you'll check out that email that has another 10 secret plants. This was just 10 of them. There's actually 20. Check that email out for a little bit more.
Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.